You ever find yourself in a room full of people feeling invisible? Like everyone else got the memo on how to love themselves, how to step into their purpose, and you're just stuck trying to figure out where you fit? I'm here to tell you right now, the first person you need to get right with, the first person you need to show up for, the first person you need to love fiercely is you. Because until you put your focus on you, until you learn to love yourself with the same passion you give everyone else, you'll always be running on empty. And baby, you deserve a full tank. So let's get honest, let's get raw, and let's start that journey of self-love, self-care, and self-respect right here, right now. Self-love is the foundation of personal growth and empowerment. When we talk about self-love, many people think it's just about feeling good or pampering yourself with occasional treats, but it goes far deeper than that. Self-love is about knowing who you are at your core, accepting every part of yourself, the flaws, the mistakes, the scars, and still deciding you're worthy of your own kindness and respect. It's the starting point for everything you want to build in your life, because if you don't have that internal base, everything else becomes shaky, unstable, and prone to collapse. Let me break it down. Self-love is the radical decision to stop waiting for external validation, for someone else's approval, or for life to hand you permission to exist fully. It's a declaration that your value is not contingent on your performance, your appearance, or your circumstances. Self-love means you hold space for your own growth without judgment, without shame. It means when you stumble, you don't beat yourself down. You reach out to yourself with grace and encouragement. You become your own fiercest advocate, the one who believes in your potential, even when the world doubts you. This foundation of self-love also empowers you to set goals and chase dreams unapologetically. Because when you truly value yourself, you understand that investing time, energy, and resources into your growth is not selfish. It's necessary. You stop seeing your dreams as luxuries and start seeing them as necessities for your soul's well-being. And here's the secret. When you grow in this way, your energy shifts. The kind of confidence and peace that comes from self-love creates a ripple effect in every area of your life. Your relationships, your career, your health. Another thing about self-love is how it teaches you resilience. Life will throw challenges your way. People will disappoint you. You'll face setbacks and moments of doubt. But if you've built a solid foundation of self-love, you won't be broken by those moments. You'll face them with the strength that comes from knowing your worth is not defined by external circumstance. Instead of collapsing under pressure, you'll bend, adapt, and keep moving forward because you believe in the light inside you. Self-love also dismantles toxic patterns that keep you stuck. Think about it. How many times have you stayed in relationships that hurt you because you thought you didn't deserve better? How often have you silenced your needs to please others, sacrificing your own happiness? Self-love gives you permission to break free from those cycles. It gives you the courage to say no when you need to walk away from what no longer serves you, and to prioritize your peace without guilt. But building self-love isn't always easy. Society bombards us with messages that we're not enough, not thin enough, not successful enough, not pretty enough, not worthy enough. It's a constant battle. That's why self-love requires daily, intentional practice. It might look like journaling your affirmations, setting aside time for self-reflection, or simply reminding yourself every morning that you are valuable just as you are. It might mean seeking out therapy or support groups where you can unpack trauma and heal wounds that have kept you from loving yourself fully. And don't get it twisted. Self-love is not about being perfect. It's about embracing your humanity. It's about recognizing that you are a work in progress, and that's beautiful. You don't have to have it all figured out to deserve love, especially your own. Self-love is messy. It's imperfect. It's a daily decision. Some days you'll show up for yourself better than others. That's okay. What matters is that you keep coming back, keep trying, keep fighting for that love inside you. When you start focusing on loving yourself, you'll notice a transformation in how you interact with the world. You'll find yourself more patient, more compassionate. not just with yourself, but with others. You'll stop seeking external approval and start trusting your own voice. You'll set boundaries that protect your energy and nurture your growth. You'll create a life that reflects your values because you're clear on what those values are. In fact, self-love changes the way you make decisions. Instead of making choices out of fear, desperation, or trying to please others, you make decisions rooted in your worth and aligned with your purpose. It's the difference between living reactively and living intentionally. It's about choosing what feeds your soul, even if it means saying no to what everyone else expects from you. This foundation of self-love also prepares you for healthier relationships. When you love yourself well, you don't tolerate disrespect or neglect. You attract people who uplift and encourage you because you've set the standard high. You stop compromising your values and start building connections based on mutual respect and love. You become a source of light, not just for yourself, but for those around you. I want you to imagine for a moment what your life could look like if you fully embrace this kind of self-love. Imagine waking up every day feeling worthy, enough, and empowered. Imagine the freedom of no longer needing validation from others because you already have it from the most important person, yourself. Imagine the peace that comes with knowing that no matter what happens outside, your worth inside is unshakable. That's the power of focusing on you and loving yourself. It's not selfish. It's not arrogant. It's necessary. Because when you love yourself first, everything else falls into place. Your purpose becomes clearer. Your peace grows deeper. And your impact expands. So let's lean into that journey, step by step, and watch how your life transforms when you decide to be your own greatest love story. Setting healthy boundaries protects your peace and nurtures your well-being. Boundaries are not just rules you set for other people. They are declarations of your self-worth and your commitment to protect your energy. In a world that constantly demands your time, your attention, and your emotions, boundaries become a form of self-love that keeps you grounded, balanced, and whole. Without boundaries, you give away pieces of yourself until you feel depleted, overwhelmed, and disconnected from who you truly are. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that setting boundaries is selfish or rude. We grew up thinking that saying no would make others upset, that putting ourselves first is a sign of weakness or pride, or that if we don't meet everyone's expectations, we won't be loved or accepted. But those lies rob us of our peace and steal our joy. Healthy boundaries are not about shutting people out. They're about creating a safe space where you can thrive. They are the lines you draw in the sand to say, this is what I will accept, and this is what I won't. Setting boundaries starts with clarity. Knowing exactly what you need to feel safe, respected, and valued. It means taking the time to reflect on what drains your energy, what triggers your stress, and what situations or people make you feel diminished. When you identify those things, you can begin to communicate your limits clearly and confidently. Boundaries aren't vague or negotiable. They are firm and intentional. For example, you might decide that you will not answer work emails after a certain hour, or that you won't engage in conversations that are disrespectful or toxic. One of the biggest challenges in setting boundaries is overcoming the fear of rejection or confrontation. We worry that if we say no, we will lose friends, upset family members, or disappoint colleagues. But here's the truth. The people who truly respect you will honor your boundaries. Those who don't respect your limits are often the ones who need boundaries the most. When you set a boundary, you are giving others a chance to show you how much they value your well-being. And if they push against your limits, it reveals where those relationships stand. Boundaries also protect your mental and emotional health. When you don't set limits, you risk becoming overwhelmed by other people's problems, emotions, and demands. You might find yourself saying yes to things you don't want to do, or staying in unhealthy relationships longer than you should because you fear being alone. This can lead to burnout, anxiety, and resentment, all of which chip away at your peace and happiness. Healthy boundaries create space for you to recharge, to focus on your needs, and to cultivate relationships that are nourishing and reciprocal. Learning to set boundaries is a process, and it requires practice. It might feel uncomfortable at first because it challenges old patterns and beliefs. You might encounter guilt or doubt, wondering if you're being too harsh or unreasonable. But it's important to remember that boundaries are acts of self-respect, not selfishness. When you prioritize your well-being, you're better able to show up fully for others without losing yourself in the process. Communicating boundaries effectively is key. It's not enough to just feel your limits internally. You have to express them clearly and respectfully. Use I statements that focus on your needs and feelings rather than blaming others. For example, instead of saying, "You're always bothering me," you might say, "I need some quiet time in the evenings to recharge." This shifts the conversation from accusation to assertion and invites understanding rather than defensiveness. Another important aspect of boundaries is consistency. Setting a boundary once is not enough. You have to maintain it over time. This means being firm even when it's difficult and not making exceptions that undermine your limits. Consistency teaches others how to treat you and reinforces your commitment to your own well-being. It also builds your confidence and sense of control over your life. Boundaries can take many forms depending on your circumstances. They might involve physical space, such as needing alone time or privacy. They can be emotional, like refusing to engage in toxic conversations or refusing to carry the weight of someone else's emotional burdens. Boundaries can also be digital, such as limiting screen time or social media exposure to protect your mental health. Financial boundaries might involve saying no to lending money when it jeopardizes your security. Each boundary you set is a step toward reclaiming your power and protecting your peace. In relationships, boundaries create a foundation of respect and trust. When both parties understand and honor each other's limits, the relationship becomes healthier and more fulfilling. Without boundaries, relationships can become codependent, toxic, or draining. Setting clear expectations prevents misunderstandings and reduces conflict. It allows each person to be authentic without fear of judgment or rejection. Boundaries also foster independence and personal growth because you're not relying on others to fill your emotional tank. You're responsible for your own well-being. Setting boundaries can also be a spiritual practice. It's an act of honoring the divine within yourself by recognizing your worth and protecting your sacred space. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of self-care and guarding your heart against negativity. When you set boundaries, you align yourself with that higher truth and create room for peace, joy, and purpose to flourish in your life. It's important to remember that boundaries can evolve. What you need to protect your peace today might look different from what you need next year. Life changes and your boundaries should adapt accordingly. Regular self-reflection helps you stay tuned in to your needs and adjust your limits as necessary. This ongoing process keeps you connected to yourself and ensures that you're always prioritizing your well-being in a way that supports your growth. Boundaries also teach you how to say no without guilt. Saying no is one of the most powerful boundary tools because it creates space for what truly matters. When you say yes to everything, you dilute your energy and focus. But when you say no with intention, you honor your priorities and protect your peace. It's okay to say no to things that don't align with your values, that drain your energy, or that pull you away from your purpose. Saying no is not rejection. It's redirection toward what nourishes you. As you practice setting boundaries, you'll notice a shift in your energy and confidence. You'll feel lighter because you're no longer carrying unnecessary burdens. You'll have more time and space to invest in your dreams, your health, and your happiness. You'll also attract people who respect you and your limits and who encourage you to be your best self. Boundaries become a magnet for healthy relationships and opportunities that align with your true self. One of the biggest gifts of boundaries is peace. Peace in your mind, peace in your heart, and peace in your environment. When you protect your peace, You're better equipped to handle life's challenges with grace and strength. You're less reactive and more intentional. You create a sanctuary within yourself that no external chaos can penetrate. That sanctuary becomes your refuge and your source of power. Boundaries also teach you self-compassion. When you recognize your limits and honor them, you treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a loved one. You stop pushing yourself to the brink of exhaustion or stress. You learn to listen to your body and your emotions and respond with care. This compassion nurtures your well-being and supports your long-term health and happiness. Sometimes setting boundaries means letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. It's one of the hardest but most necessary steps in protecting your peace. Not every relationship is meant to last forever, and that's okay. When a relationship consistently drains you, disrespects your limits, or causes you pain, it's a signal to reevaluate. Letting go doesn't mean you're a failure or unloving. It means you're choosing yourself and your well-being above all else. The boundaries also empower you to advocate for yourself in all areas of life, whether at work, with family, or in your community. Clear boundaries ensure that you are treated with dignity and respect. They help you avoid exploitation, burnout, and resentment. They also give you the courage to speak up when something isn't right and to demand the respect you deserve. As you develop this practice, remember that boundaries are an ongoing journey, not a one-time event. You'll face challenges, resistance, and moments of doubt. That's normal. What matters is that you keep choosing to honor yourself, keep communicating your needs, and keep protecting your peace. With each boundary you set, you build a stronger foundation for a life filled with love, respect, and fulfillment.